Looking back, I don't know if there is a game that means as much to me as Final Fantasy 15. Not only did the game have a fun combat system, amazing graphics, and a good yet flawed story, but I really felt the camaraderie between the four main characters, Noctis, Gladios, Ignis, and Prompto. We waited what, 10 years for this joint? It's not a perfect game to me, but for me, it was worth the wait. What's going on, everybody? My name is Legato, and I want to tell y'all why Final Fantasy 15 is one of the most important games ever made, in my opinion. After years of numerous delays, Final Fantasy 15 was finally released on November 29th, 2016. We'll get back to that date in just a second. The game takes place in the world of Eos, so aside from Insomnia, the capital of Lucius, the whole world is controlled by the evil empire of Niflheim. Now, Niflheim wants to acquire the magic crystal that the royal Lucian family possesses. The night before the two sides would have peace negotiations, they attack the capital and steal the crystal. So this is where our main character comes in, Prince Noctis, the heir to the Lucian throne. He has to go on a quest to retrieve the crystal and bring it back to the royal family. And Noctis brings his three best friends along with him too. Now, I'm not going to deep dive into the story today, but what I will say is that I love this story and the characters in this game. As I mentioned in my intro, I can really feel the chemistry between Noctis and his friends. The game takes you through emotional moments, heart-pumping action, and Gladios, Prompto, and Ignis are by his side for most of the journey. There's a scene towards the very end of the game that really just hammered home the fact that these men aren't just friends, but they're brothers. The story has its flaws. After being pushed back for so long, I believe Square really just wanted to put out the game at the cost of cutting out some elements of the story. I noticed an abrupt shift in the story in the latter half of the game. The ending almost comes out of nowhere, but with numerous story-centric DLCs and the release of the Royal Edition version of the game, the story has added many cutscenes and pieces of dialogue that flesh the story out way further. I'm a big action RPG fan. My favorite game of all time is Kingdom Hearts 2. So I love slicing through an enemy with a sword or a big ass key. Final Fantasy 15 delivers in the combat area as well, in my opinion. You have different types of weapons, you can fight up close or a little farther back, and I absolutely love the warp move that Noctis has. You lock onto an enemy, warp to where he is, and attack with your weapon of choice. It's flashy and fun stuff like that that made me spend hours just beating up on low-level gremlins and stuff. But my favorite combat feature would have to be the double team moves. At the right time, you can call on one of your friends to slide in and hit an enemy with a special move. It's nothing better than instructing Prompto to up the strap on a motherfucker. So, game aside, let's talk about why this game means so much to me. Remember when I said that we would return to the release date earlier? Well, November 2016, I was going through probably the worst time in my life. I was sleeping on my brother's couch with no car and a job that gave me 12 hours a week. Also at the time, I was going through a bad breakup. So all of this is hitting me at once. I remember catching a bus up to the local shopping center, grabbing a big bag of Doritos and a root beer from Walmart, and heading to GameStop to pick up Final Fantasy 15. I really couldn't believe that it was here. My life was terrible. I have never been so close to giving up, but this game helped me get through that. I'm not going to say that this game saved my life or anything, but when I turned on Final Fantasy 15, I was able to get lost in the world for hours. While I was warping to enemies, nothing else mattered at the moment. And that's the beauty of gaming. No matter where you are, what situation you are in, a game can help you ease through that pain. It can help you get through a tough day. I'm glad to say that today I'm doing better than I ever have, and I still turn on Final Fantasy 15 from time to time. Sometimes it's tough to play because it reminds me of a rough time in my life, but then on the other hand, it reminds me how strong I am for getting through that era. So I want to ask y'all, what's a piece of media that helped y'all through a tough time, or where y'all are going through a tough time? It could be a favorite album, it could be a favorite movie, it could be a favorite game, whatever. I'm excited to hear y'all thoughts. I hope y'all enjoyed me getting a little personal today. But hey, my name is Legato, and I'm out. Peace.